31-year-old Larry Bader was living with his wife, Mary Lou, and their 3 kids in Akron, Ohio. Over the past several years, he had launched several new business ventures, and they had all failed, throwing the family into fairly significant debt. And so he had to just take some job in order to pay the bills. But it did not make Larry happy. On the weekends, he would go fishing on Lake Erie. March 15th, Larry approached his wife and said, "I'd like to head up to Lake Erie and go fishing for the weekend." And she would tell him, "I heard the weather was going to be really bad." And Larry would tell her, these storms, they always hyped them up. He grabbed his stuff, he hopped in his truck, and headed up to Lake Erie. That night, Lake Erie was hit with a massive thunderstorm. Then the following morning, the Coast Guard discovered Larry's boat floating around. A search was launched for Larry, but he was never found, and he was eventually declared dead. And his wife was able to actually cash his life insurance policy. 8 years later, in 1965, Larry Bader's niece, named Suzanne Peka, was in Chicago at a sporting goods show with a friend of hers. They noticed in the middle of this group was this man with an eye patch and a big mustache doing an archery demonstration. As they continued to watch this guy, Suzanne's friend turned to Suzanne and said, "Hey, doesn't this guy look exactly like your uncle?" And all of a sudden, she saw it too. After this demonstration was over, Suzanne and the friend ran over to this guy. Suzanne says to him, "You look exactly like my uncle, Larry Bader, who went missing on Lake Erie 8 years ago." The guy, he says, "My name is John Johnson. People call me Fritz. I live in Omaha, Nebraska with my wife and my kids. I do sports journalism in Omaha." And Suzanne called her Larry Bader's brothers, and they hopped on a flight that night and flew to Chicago. And the following morning, the 2 uncles, along with Suzanne and her friend, they went back to the sporting goods show. As soon as they see this guy, they too would say, "This is our brother." They approached him and they said, "Look, I know you're saying you are not our brother, but we have his military paperwork right here with fingerprints. Will you humor us and go to the police station with us and get fingerprinted? That way you can prove you really are not our brother." Fritz had his fingerprints taken, and afterwards the police would tell him, "You are Larry Bader." When Fritz heard this, he could not believe it. As far as we understand it, Fritz Johnson showed up in Omaha, Nebraska a couple of days or a couple of months after Larry Bader went missing on Lake Erie. Over time, Fritz just kind of thread himself into the Omaha community. But as soon as the news broke, the TV station he worked for fired him. His second wife left him. Also, the insurance company, they demanded that he repay them. Fritz continued to say he was not Larry Bader. Eventually, a team of experts came out to Omaha, and at the end of all their testing, they concluded he is almost certainly suffering from an extreme case of amnesia. Today, his case is considered to be one of the most believable and baffling cases of amnesia on record.